Okay, so here we are. It's time for my first audio annotation of Tuesday Night Worlds. This is from, I think it was April 19th, 2025, and we're doing double Alton. So here we go. We just make the turn onto Ruffner, and you can see that there's two Montevallo riders that are up the road. I don't know who they both are. I never really saw them get away. They didn't really, it wasn't from an attack. They kind of creeped up before we hit the segment, which happens sometimes pretty early in the race. And so, as you can see, uh, I got my teammate Clinton in front of me and John Crane from Skyway up and to the left. And then right in front of Clinton was Charlie representing B team. We got a lot of different teams at Worlds this year, which is pretty cool. And it's made for a lot of fun racing. So, anyhow, people aren't super nervous about this early little break, but I think what we're going to see here in a second is it isn't truly a race. It's kind of a hybrid workout race, and so guys are going to see this as an opportunity to get some efforts in and maybe make something happen. I don't think anybody seriously expects a gap this early to hold. People are kind of smarter than that, but that's what's going to happen here pretty soon. Someone's going to come shooting up on the left side of the screen, and I think a couple people will go with them. So let's just watch. There we go. And it's Cody from the B team trying to go up there and join the two Montevallo riders. And I think Charlie might get excited about this, joining his teammate. Nope, not going to chase his boy down. So Clinton decides it's too early, pulls through. I pull through. And Sam, I think, does the same. Actually, nobody wanted to pull through. That's kind of funny how quickly this becomes a race. So this is classic. Like, there's no otters up there. Um, but there's one team B and one and two Montevallo. So I think there's three. So none of those guys are going to chase. We see Montevallo's kind of got to the front and just decided to sit up and block a little bit. And this was killing me sitting up here because I wasn't exactly sure at first if we had a guy, but I could see that we didn't eventually. And I thought I should probably get up there, um, not let them roll off. But it was, again, it's just so early. So Clinton decides to get things started. Of course, lest you thought for a second that the guys weren't pulling through because they were tired, you can see that that has nothing to do with it. They just simply weren't going to chase their teammates. So as soon as Clinton went, they picked up the pace right behind him. Everyone's easing back again. So the thing with Tuesday Night Worlds for me is that it can serve really like sort of two purposes. One purpose is it's a race simulator, and so if you want to practice race tactics, get used to surges, have team tactic practice where you're countering, blocking, things like that. It's perfect because it's harder than a lot of races actually. And the reason why that is because not only are there a lot of strong riders there, but also it's not really a race, and so people do want to get a great workout. So people will do quote unquote dumb things that they probably wouldn't do in a race. And so I knew that this was going to pick back up at some point, even though if this was a real race that we'd paid to do and there was points on the line and things like that, people probably would have just left those guys out there because they weren't really pulling away at that point. They were just kind of sitting out there, and there's strong riders up there, so you might as well just let them get up there and burn. But even in a real race, people get antsy and anxious, and they want to ride their bike fast. So that carrot's not going to stay out there for long before somebody goes after it. Um, I wanted to work hard today. I wasn't really thinking about tactics. I feel like um, sitting in this ride and kind of waiting for the end. I like to do that every now and then and try to minimize, but also we're trying to get better as a team, and I'm trying to get better as an overall rider. I don't, not really a sprinter, not really much of anything, but if anything, I would be somebody who can maybe exert themselves over and over again over a long period of time. So I'm trying to keep practicing that and get better at that and get put myself in a hole and come out of it. So, anyways, all that to say that I couldn't stand sitting here anymore. There wasn't I didn't have a teammate in that, and the group had slowed again. You can see people sitting up, and I just figured, let's go for it. Let's open this up. Maybe they won't worry and they'll let me go. So that was tactically it was a huge mistake because what I'm doing right now, I don't have my power meter today. But this really tired me out. This really tired me out, and that's part of the problem. It shouldn't have been that tiring. Um, I just need to do more of these efforts and keep doing them so I can learn to recover quicker and hit it again. But I got up to the group, so that was a nice little bridge, and I was kind of hoping that everybody would just let me go, but they don't. As you can see in the rear view, people are coming pretty hard. So I get there right at the time when we got a climb coming. Um, and so Josh comes flying by. And if I was a stronger rider, I would have flown right by these guys in the break. But I got up to him and I just needed to sit in and catch my breath. I was hoping that the group would let me be up there for a little while, but didn't happen. So I threw down what was me like an almost all out effort to bridge. Probably at a pretty stupid time because it was right before a hill, which then everyone countered. And so at this point, I am just sucking wind real hard. And as you can see, the group is not letting up. So not super smart. Another hill. The two big hills on this first road, Rough and Road, kind of happened towards the end of it. I mean, there's one at the beginning, and that's the very first opening surge, so everyone's good. And then it's kind of downhill to some rollers, and then there's two short, steep kicker type hills at the end. And I probably just should have waited. Should have just waited. Maybe attacked, um, on that hill instead of waiting to bridge up. And then as soon as I get there, then I got to go up it because I was exhausted. Can hear my breath. I mean, I was clear. These guys are putting me in a hole today. So the group's all back together again, and Ruffner is the opening salvo, as I've said a few times, and it's
Good job, dude.
pretty flat by Birmingham
That's
standards,
super
and
impressive.
so it's not a place where people often get away. I mean, it's
Rolling.
happened, but it's very hard and very unusual. It's not something that I would ever even dream of doing.
Car!
Um, So putting a lot of efforts in on there an attempt to get away is not smart, but it's a good workout and it does soften the group. And so if you're racing as a team and hoping to stake someone loose at some point, these kilojoules that are all getting expended here, even though nobody's popped yet, they matter. I mean, I'm completely out of breath. I know, and a lot of guys got dropped on this ride. So I know that strong riders too. So I know that this group is really working hard. I, in fact, even got popped for a little bit and then was able to kind of hang on and come back. But yeah, that's what happens when you put yourself in a hole on purpose.
Slowing. One of each. That
I
could be
just said
it.
one of each. That could be it. At this point, the group did slow, and I think I finally was fully kind of recovered. I'm not sure which otter was up there because I can see Clinton, um, but
Give him a little. Let him get up there a little ways. And we
I
didn't come
kind of
out
had
of the
I had
traditional
the
front
thought that
route.
like in a
There's
bigger
no
race,
pace up
sometimes
there though.
if there's one person from each team up the road, then everyone else, nobody be motivated to chase,
Stands
and the
on
race
both.
can get real easy, almost
He
like
needs
a
to commit
leisurely
to a
pace
jersey.
until they're long gone, and then people will start fighting maybe to create a second break. But it's unusual that that would happen in Worlds because we came out for a workout, and so we'll let our teammates get up the road to a point, but everyone wants to work out, so they're not going to let that go the whole time. You got to stay
Stay
on
on
the
the gas
gas
through
through here.
here.
It's easy. A lot of
There's
people
a
get
temptation to
get
ease up.
separated in this section because you finish Ruffner and it is hard, but you're still there and you just think, okay, let's ease up while we make these two quick right turns. But as you can see, there's nothing easy about this. People kind of went through that intersection pretty hard, and then this little short, steep kicker, everyone's kind of all out sprinting, and the group is a straight line here. And I don't really know how the guys in the front got so far ahead because I was kind of buried. I wouldn't have, if I had been a little closer up, I would have not wanted that to happen because now you're playing catch up. Now we got lucky because there was a light here and it brought everybody back together. It was really a nasty day. It was raining off and on, and we really didn't even know if we were going to be able to do the ride. So you can see there's water everywhere. It was definitely dangerous. And my heart, honestly, this did kind of like my heart was kind of in it, wasn't in it fully because I
Car
was
up!
definitely concerned about the weather. And
Car
before
up!
the ride, I was not even sure I was going to go. And then once we were out there, there's a lot of standing water. And then this happened. So I'm just kind of like, what the heck are we doing out here? But it turned out to be pretty fun. There was just one little section up ahead where the water was really bad. So a lot of stuff happens on Alton here, which is kind of unusual because usually we come to the end of this road together. Not always, but that's probably more common. But people got away, and I don't really know how it happened. So I'm kind of watching this, hoping to get some sense of it. I kind of blinked, and people were up the road. I mean, right now we're going downhill. We're all together, so you're really not expecting anyone to get away. But I'm pretty sure that my teammate Mike just sends it, and then nobody follows for
Slowing.
whatever reason. And that's a strong looking group. Yeah, this is probably it. I get buried, so the camera won't be able to pick it up, but Mike is shooting up the road. You can kind of see up there. And by the time I get back to the front, you'll see there's a gap. And that really is the move of the day. Um, Not everybody that was up there stayed up there, but Mike did, and whoever else joined him did. A couple other people that joined him did, and then a couple didn't. But yeah, there's that group, and that group's gonna the core of that group will stay up there the rest of the ride.
Crane's gonna try to get up there. As soon as he gets a chance, he's going. There you go.
I knew Crane. So Crane is the one guy out here who's riding without a team. So I know he wants to get up there because he doesn't have a teammate up there. He really wants to be up there.
Water!
And I knew that the second half of Alton was going to be
Shit.
super hard because he was going to push the pace if no one else did. And it was. It really was. I mean, it just broke this group up. And
Yellow! Rolling! Yeah. I don't want to drag the group up there, but I'd like to get up there. Water!
it's always interesting to me to think about the sort of psychology of the group. I mean, we've all ridden this route a million times, and the group at the breakaway there is not that far ahead, and so you kind of are expecting them just to kind of come back naturally, like maybe they sit up and we kind of keep the pace high without really trying that hard. But then, like the frog in boiling water, slowly, 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 it dawns on you that yeah, they're not coming back. So we're if even though they're maybe they get a little bit farther away, a little bit farther away, and before you kind of you have a chance to really think about it, it's clear like, well, if we want them, we need to be in that group. And so, I had Hefner up the road, and I think Clinton was with him at this point. So, I'm not really super motivated to chase. Um, but I knew that there would be people that would be, so I kind of just let it play out. And guys get on the front here and make these last couple climbs on Alton extremely hard. There they go. I wish I had power numbers for this surge because it really put me out of breath. And you can see it just stretched everybody out. I'm really mad at myself for letting these gaps form here. I don't know why I couldn't just go a little bit harder. Part of it was I just didn't want to go that hard right here because I knew John Rogers was going to be hard, and the group tends to come back together when we get up onto 78 because it's downhill and it's very fast. Um, and so I knew there was a lot of racing left, and I knew that I'd already done one big effort. I did, I was I didn't know how many more I had. So I was like, oh, I really kind of just want to eat. I want to just get to John Rogers and then lay it all out without doing this. And so I let some gaps form that I just shouldn't have. I should have, because I ended up working harder, having let them form. I just should have kept them closed, and I could have. I would have had to have been a little more painful than I wanted to be. I mean, the group is so close right now, and there are guys from this chase group that make it into that other group, and that other group falls apart. So I wish I had footage of that. I just wasn't up there, so I didn't see it. But I think that's the lesson I think that had to teach myself over and over again is that they almost always slow up, and it's better to stay in the group. Now I try to balance that with being efficient. Um,
Slowing.
I burn, when I go way, way over my threshold, it
Standing.
hurts, and I go deep into oxygen debt, and sometimes it's very hard for me to come out of it. Conversely, if I stay right at threshold and my threshold is decent, I can hold that for a long time and keep my speed high, and because the group tends to ease up, I can kind of cover the same ground in the same time without ever really pushing myself deep, and I prefer to do that if I can. Um, but it's a dangerous game. And so today was an example of that. Like I just I was a super out of breath. So I mean I'm saying I could have kept this gap from forming, but then again I don't know. I mean I can hear my breath right now, and obviously I was working hard. Um, Yeah, I wish I was up close for the just for the simple fact that it would have been fun to get more footage of what exactly was going on up there because we kind of caught the lead group and then there was a remixing and reforming and yeah, I'll just never know what happened unless someone else has a camera. So there's another moment, right? You can see behind me. I mean, guys are gone. So that effort was hard. We dropped a lot of guys who don't normally get dropped on this section. So that and including me. So that was crazy hard. Luckily, I was close enough, and I knew that this was a long downhill. And I don't have my speedometer data posted right now, but I was doing over 30, and I was definitely starting to catch my breath thanks to the downhill. So I was pretty confident I was going to be able to get him as soon as we made the turn. And so I was kind of again debating like, should I throw in a big effort here and close this gap immediately, or play a little game, gamble, and just let it come back. And so because they weren't pulling away from me, um, and I was actually getting stronger with every with every tick, it seemed wise just to keep going like I was going. I knew there was a long time left. I actually was able to take good advantage of this turn because they were in a big group. They took this turn pretty slow. There was a lot of water, but I was able to take it fast. So you'll see like just how much closer I get coming out of this turn. So there's the first guy from that main field, Riley, who I think had decided he needed a rest, but he'll be probably won't be too surprised to know that he manages to get back on and get in front of me somehow. I don't know how in the heck they did that. And then partly his teammate Sam right there is waiting for him, which is super cool. And they're gonna. I haven't seen that yet, but I'm looking forward to seeing exactly how where they caught back up because I mean they are way in the rear view, and this group is again not easing up. I think this is. I thought I was going to be latched onto the group by now. Um, After that turn, they seemed to be right there, but they sped back up, and there was a moment there where I was like, "Man, I'm going to have to throw an effort down." So if you had my power, you'd see that I definitely like kind of sprinted there a little bit to make sure I caught them because I was pretty recovered at that
Traffic!
point, and I could see that they were starting to speed up, so I needed to make sure I didn't miss that chance. I was happy to get back on. Pretty sure that there's two that Clinton and Crane are up the road, and that's what everybody's really working hard to get. The main lead group, I think, is probably just completely out of sight at this point. So there's no real hope of getting them. But I'm not sure. And as soon as there will come, I'm going to pop up in the front. We'll get a better view of what's going on up there here in a minute. Yeah, so this little chase group is all back together now. Still no sign of the two Montevallo guys that fell off the back, but they are coming. So when they come in hot, it's gonna be a sight. I was starting to feel pretty good at this point. Even, it'd been a long day, and I had been had a lot of adventures. But now I'm kind of getting into the last little section. Of course, the lead group is seemingly out of the question. But it's always fun to play games with whatever group you're in. So kind of thinking, well, I got three teammates. Let's do the best we can. Let's be as aggressive as we can on Alton and try to shake things loose. So that's more or less what's on my mind right now, and that's what I tried to do. I think I was toast. So with the little initial surge that I put in, uh, as you'll see, didn't amount to much. Um, and I think my two teammates just weren't quite ready to get after it as early as I did that. So that was a mistake. I probably just should have waited a little bit. There's about to be an attack by a couple of I think they're Montevallo riders. I don't know their names, but they are. I just remember it being crazy hard. It was kind of frustrating because it's really not a spot where people normally attack. It kind of goes into a downhill. It's very hard to get away, but it hurt. So it's a credit to them that you'll see how spread out everything gets. I think that probably did a good job in terms of like making it hard for whatever I was about to do on Alton to have any effect because this hurt and this tired me out. And so just at this point, every match that you burned is one less that you got for when it counts.
And there's a lot off the back too.
Here it goes. Yeah, this surge created a gap, but I think Hurley was pretty smart there. He knew no one was going anywhere because we're coming into this big downhill. So there's no panic. Just stay on the gas, keep your speed up, and wait for this to happen. I still can't believe that Riley and Stam caught us back up. I mean, we just made the turn on Alton, and they're not there yet. So I don't know how they did this. They must have been going 50 miles an hour. not. I know I'm not doing much right now. It's kind of downhill, even though I'm on the front, not putting out a lot of energy. I think I let somebody rotate past me one more time, and then I get on the front and make my one last effort to try to spread the group out and hopefully allow my guys to counter.
Travel.
This was that one section that was, I don't know why, I just had tons of standing water and gravel out in the road. Luckily, we got through there twice without any issues.
Stopping!
And Sam and Riley are back. That is amazing. I mean, they were completely out of sight when we were on Alton. You couldn't even see them. And we turned onto Alton off of John Rogers. Somehow they caught us that fast.
Water!
Okay, so here was I was trying to start some ping pong surges one after another. I think part of the problem is I just didn't, I don't have an, I'm just probably too tired today to really do much. I mean, this was a respectable effort. The group did get spread out, and my teammates told me later that they knew as soon as I eased up, guys were going to counter, which is exactly what happened, and then they followed. So, it started shaking things up, but it was kind of stupid. I just should have sat in and waited. There they go. And I am definitely toast at this point. And that's about it. I was sitting there thinking I should probably try to sprint to get back on. I was exhausted, but even if I got there, I wasn't going to have much left. It's so one of the fun things about watching these back is you just kind of you're not tired when you're watching it. So you're thinking, why didn't I just sprint up there? Why didn't I just do this? Why didn't I do that? I mean, it's easy to quickly forget just how exhausted you can be. But it was a good workout. It was super fun. I'm going to keep most of the time I go out there, I'm going to just lay it all out there and try to hurt myself. And hopefully when that'll help me get stronger. And one of these days, one of these moves will stick. All right, till next week.